I just wanted to take a minute and introduce the team. I'm April Setti, the producer. We have Devin and Mark working behind the scenes, making magic happen. And then everybody loves George, our station manager. Central New Jersey Network has many shows besides us, of course, The Gab Show. And I encourage you to visit our website at cnjn.org to find our list of other shows. And in fact, we have an archive of past episodes to entertain you. The exciting news is you can stream local TV on your television, computer, or phone by simply downloading our CNJN app on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or Apple TV. We even air on local cable channels of Verizon Fios and Comcast. And if you visit our website, again at cnjn.org, you just click here to navigate the downloads. Central New Jersey Network is working really hard to bring hyper-local community TV to you. Being in between New York and Philadelphia, we just kind of got tired of not being able to find local news about the people, destinations, and resources that are right in our own backyard. So while we're getting ready to go live, do me a favor, tell your friends, and you can also share onto your social media pages this very show right now. And again, thank you for watching The Gab Show. And as they say, enjoy the show.
Welcome to The Gab, and thank you for watching. I'm Gabby Johnson, and this time we want to save some money for you. So we are talking about all you can do about winterizing your house with our guest, Scott Needham, who knows all about the new things coming for energy.
I'm Melissa Tenzer. We also have Maureen Petrowski. She's going to talk about everything cocktails, mocktails. She has a book out. She's a lifestyle expert. She appears on NBC News in the Today program. I think she's there tomorrow. So we're just so happy to have her on The Gab today in the studio a little later.
Yeah. And I'm Ty Robinson, and I'll be happy to announce that Joseph Halsey will be back with us in the studio a little later. And hopefully we can get some great tips from the ladies on how to shop for those special women in our lives.
Scott Needham.
Scott Needham, so good to see you here. Of course, I know you from the Princeton Mercer Influencer. And of course, you are truly an influencer into our area. But today we are talking all about winterizing your house, and you are an expert into that area. Just give us a little bit about who you are and what do you mean for our community?
Sure. I'm born and raised in this general area. Our company, founded by my dad in '71, so we're 52 years old now, and we've been serving this community for all of those years. We do a lot of community give back as well. We participate in many different programs, charitable organizations, boards. So we find the community helps us grow our business, and we like to give back. So we've been having a lot of fun. We've got 52 coworkers that are doing all the good work that we do every day. And my dad, who's now retired, kind of is excited when I report to him the progress and the growth of the company. So it's been a lot of fun.
And I must congratulate you, because I remember we came with your Town Tube and we filmed some segment into the company. And I must say that you are really treating your people working there very, very well. And your people are staying with you for years and years. So congratulations. Not a lot of companies are doing that with their employees. But talking about saving money, give us some tips.
So there are so many things that you can do on your own as a homeowner. Simple things like everyone knows, changing the filter in your furnace if you have a hot air furnace. Simple things like, draining the frost-free hose bibs on the outside of your house if you have frost-free, so they don't crack in the middle of the winter. Checking things like your humidifiers and dehumidifiers. Those are things that run constantly all year long. They have replaceable media pads they get clogged, they need maintenance. And one thing that I always try to remind all of our customers and listeners, carbon monoxide detectors, because if you have a problem with a fossil fuel burning appliance in your system, you're not going to know about it if you don't have one of these detectors. So that's a must-have. Now, there are tons of things up to and including going into your attic if you have one, looking at subpar insulation up there. These are things a homeowner can do by themselves to make sure that the entire attic floor is covered with insulation. Really basic activities that most people can do. If you're not interested in doing that, you can call professionals. There are many contractors just like myself that offer services in that area. I would caution homeowners from opening up their furnaces or boilers. There's a lot of tricky controls and electrical wiring that could cause problems. So all the things I described earlier are things you can do, but if you have to dig into the heart of the machinery, call a professional, whoever that might be.
That's right. And
I just replaced my windows like 2 years ago, 43 windows, and I really feel that it saved me with the new roof and the insulation and redoing the windows. But those tips are just so amazing. But is there a lot of people that you go in and you say, wow, no matter what you do, you really need to get new windows because they're so drafty and they're 30, 40 years old? Those recommendations, do they come with winterizing your home?
That's a great point. There, so many of our clients, we walk into their home and they want to put solar on the roof. They want to put a geothermal system in the backyard. They want to do all these fancy, cool technologies.
Right.
Yeah.
When we look around the home, I can see light through certain parts of their building that are communicating to the outdoors. And we say, no, there's what we call a loading order. Get the house in order.
Yes.
Do your attic insulation and air sealing first. Clog up, contain those gaps, cracks, and penetrations in the building envelope, and then put insulation on, then do windows. And if you've done all that, the savings there might help to afford high efficiency upgraded equipment.
Do you do electric and oil?
So our company focuses on natural gas burning
Okay.
appliances and electric heat pumps.
Okay.
Yeah, we do geothermal as
Okay,
well, but
perfect.
that's a whole nother topic.
No, actually, that is a very interesting topic.
It is.
What is your take on geothermal? Because it's becoming more and more popular.
It's probably the most efficient system you can put in your home. Ideally, if your home has existing ductwork in it, that's sending heated and cooled air through the house. If it's set up like that and you're nearing replacement, maybe it's 15, 20 years old, then geothermal is a good candidate. And what happens, it's a bit complex. You have to have the stomach for it. And it's a lot more pricey than a normal replacement.
Right.
But we're boring 3 to 5 300-foot wells in your yard somewhere. We're trenching that back to the basement. And then we set a geothermal heat pump in the basement that is utilizing the earth warmth to conduct its heating and cooling to deliver to the space. So I look at it like a battery. The earth is a battery. So in the wintertime, we're drawing heat out of that battery and putting it in our geothermal heat pump. And then the compressor does its thing to heat it up. And then in the summertime, we're discharging the heat from our house into that battery. So very popular, growing in popularity.
Has a question.
So what are some options for people talking about saving? Are there options or programs that are available to people to get some of these services from you or other providers?
Sure. I'll start by, you should go to our website because we've listed all of those different buckets of energy savings and efficiencies and incentives on our site. But that's a great question, Ty. A couple of things. So there have always been utility rebates from your utilities. The Board of Public Utilities in New Jersey, to help New Jersey's master plan reach its goal, its energy master plan, New Jersey wants to be carbon-free, clean energy by 2050, 100%.
Wow.
That's a very aggressive goal. And then for greenhouse gases, there is I got it right here. It's the Global Warming Response Act. The goal for New Jersey is to reduce carbon emissions by 80% of the 2006 levels. Again, another aggressive goal. So at that level, these programs put in place incentives to compel homeowners and commercial building owners to put some money into this. We'll couple it with rebates. And the thinking is that public-private partnership to kind of get momentum happening.
What will be the biggest challenge in reaching those goals?
The public's participation. And the program complexity. So the Inflation Reduction Act that was signed in August of this year has, I think, $40 billion of incentives for sprucing up your home in terms of energy efficiency. And the thing is, heat pumps, it's going to be the rage. It's a growing market now. For example, a low to moderate income household that has typically not done a lot on upgrades on their systems, they're giving those folks up to $14,000, 100% of the cost.
That's excellent.
To do that. When you move it up the scale in income, that they'll give you $14,000 for 50% of that project.
Goes down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have another question then. You mentioned that the public knowing about these incentives are a benefit and that will help the New Jersey reach their goal. So how can you be careful as someone who may not know that these incentives exist, and then there may be some potential like scams or some unscrupulous things happening? What would some of the things be that people should look out
Nobody
for?
would do that.
Ty, a little belief in the people.
Well, that's why we have him. He knows.
I
So
know.
we want to know, like,
Yeah.
what should we look out for? Like, we know it works.
So good question. The best thing to do is start at New Jersey's Clean Energy website.
Okay.
And that's where it lists all the programs. And in addition to that, there's a contractor finder, and you'll click on a program and then you put your zip code in, and they'll give you a bunch of contractors in that specific area. And you can call 3 or 4 of them, get estimates and whatnot. But start there and then ask the contractor, are they versed in these programs? Because the programs are very complex.
Yes.
The Board of Public Utility used to handle all the incentive programs, but last year they kicked it all to the utilities. So Public Service has a program, Jersey Central Power and Light has a program, Atlantic City Electric has a program, and they're all different, so it's complex.
So I have
Right.
a question for you. I'm going to shift a little bit
Yeah.
into the workforce, which I always love talking about. We sit on the Workforce Development Board for the county together, Scott Needham and I. We go back, and I placed temps for you for many years, probably
Woo!
18
Nice.
years.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. Good
What a-
partnership.
yeah, great partnership for 18 years, and what a great place to work. But my question for you is, I know that it's very tough to get skilled individuals, and you really mentor the youth a lot through the county, through the technical schools. Tell us how you get that talented help, and again, how you retain them, because you most certainly do.
Yeah, so I caught myself telling a friend of mine that we're lucky in terms of all the employees coming our way and the good tenured folks that stay with us. And he cautioned me, he says, no, it sounds like you put a little effort into it. And thinking about it, we do. We've, we tap into all that Mercer County Technical Schools has to offer. One of my managers is on their curriculum advisory board. We work with all of those folks, and we're at a point now where when they have a shining star, they'll call my cell phone and say, hey, we got one.
Nice.
We oftentimes get first dibs at that person. So we look at the trade schools. We've got trade schools, not only Mercer County, but all in the area. We've also adopted this thinking that we figured that if we get someone that has a service mindset, you're being treated well at a restaurant, engage that person, we figure with what we do, we can get someone that's got a service mindset, and we can teach you all the technical stuff. If you can
That's great.
communicate
That is
to
right.
people
Yes.
and you have a service mindset, we'll teach you the technical stuff. And our business is only throttled by the number of field folks that we have doing the good work in the field, showing up at your home, turning the wrenches, doing the plumbing, whatever. That's the throttle mechanism for our company and our industry. Really.
Very true about the transferable skills, because the soft skills are there, and the work ethic, that's very hard to teach somebody. So you're onto something great there. So sharing that with the audience is a good tip.
And the fact that you actually must treat them very well for them to stay on, because sometimes you can get someone to come in, but the fact that they stay with you is a real plus for you.
And we're quite proud of that as well. Like one of my guys just celebrated his 34th year with the company.
That's
And
excellent.
it's kind of pretty cool.
Is that Dominic?
No, Dennis, one of our salespeople.
Okay, I know Dennis.
Very
too.
nice.
Okay.
That is awesome. But to come back to the energy, what is your favorite in all that is offered?
All right, so this notion of electrification, or what they call it, beneficial electrification, it's sweeping the country, and the notion is, as the grid gets cleaner, solar, geothermal, wind power, all of those, as the grid gets cleaner, the powers that be want all of us, connected homes and businesses, to just use electric.
Oh.
Don't put fossil fuel in your home or building. That's the movement, and they're juicing us with incentives to compel us to do that. So I've got a gas furnace in my house. It's 20 years old. I'm probably going to replace it soon, and I will choose to replace it with a heat pump. So
Okay.
no fossil fuel, and the heat pumps are so efficient these days where you can get close to the heating output of that furnace with this heat pump. So we're doing a lot of
Very
heat
nice.
pump work these days, and homeowners are getting incentives as a result of moving in that direction.
And
so
that is where the saving comes in.
correct.
Mhm.
And they're even talking about getting rid of gas ranges and go
Right.
with induction
Oh, wow.
stoves and ovens.
It's not the same
Electric
cooking.
everything.
It's
I
not
know.
the same
Everything.
cooking.
I feel bad
That's the
for
same thing.
I feel bad for the people that really enjoy cooking on gas.
Yes.
So I do have a question for you, but
Yeah.
you might have to charge me for this.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
I have oil in my house.
Yeah.
I don't have electric,
Uh-huh.
and it's very interesting because it's hard to get its service at this point. Would you recommend me switching over? Even though we don't have the natural gas, you could kind of bring that into the neighborhood. And I do think I might need electric at this point to
Yep.
keep up, because it's very hard to get parts. It's hard to get service.
Yes.
And every time I turn it on, there's that smell that gives everybody a headache in the house.
Yeah.
And
You-
it lasts
I had
longer
that
and
for
longer
years.
every year that I
Yeah.
turn it on. So
That's
what
your
advice?
excuse.
You-
And
you
you
bring
can
up-
charge me.
You bring up a great point. So my dad's house, I was just there yesterday, and he's had what we call a hybrid system. He's got an oil hot air furnace,
Okay.
and
I like
and
that.
an air conditioner attached to it. When he had to replace his air conditioner, we put a heat pump in there.
Mhm.
So the heat pump does all the heating for most of the year. When it gets down below 30 degrees or 28 degrees, the heat pump automatically stops and the oil furnace kicks on.
Oh.
So it's
how
a kind of a
clever.
layered
Wow.
effect to get you to the electrification thinking.
Okay.
Next time you need to upgrade your air conditioner, put a heat pump on
Mhm.
and have it work in concert with the oil furnace.
But what
Excellent
Thank
tip.
you.
Yeah, that's a
Hybrid
great tip you just got.
what does it mean to someone that is an older, let's say an older couple
Mhm.
into an older house, to make a transformation like this with their house? Would they really gain a return?
Sure.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you start back to my initial comments about the
Yeah.
loading order,
Okay.
look at your attic insulation, air sealing, windows, get the shell of the house in order,
Right.
and then start working on the
Okay.
appliances. What's the age of my furnace?
Right.
Is it a condensing furnace? Those are high efficiency. Is it not? How's my water heater? Is that a
Right.
natural draft gravity type water heater? Those things. They even have heat pump water heaters now, I failed to mention,
Oh.
which come with nice incentives.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah, your question is good. If you do those things in that order,
Mhm.
then you will experience savings.
Okay.
And do your company, do you offer that type of service to come in and kind of evaluate where
good
there could be
question.
opportunities for us
We
to save?
do, yeah.
How does that work? Tell us about that.
We call it the home performance program. And what happens is you'd call and you want your home evaluated.
Mhm.
You sense that you have less than par, insulation, and your equipment is old. And a team would come out and do what we call a blower door test. We
Okay.
open your front door, put this fan in the front door, and we close all the windows and your fireplace damper, and we grab a measured amount of air and pull it out of the house. We measure the detail on what that is. So if we're pulling 5,000 CFM of air out of your house, it's coming in through gaps, cracks, and holes in the building's structure. So then we walk around with an infrared gun. We can identify those
That's
spots.
what I was gonna ask
And then
next.
you sit with the homeowner and you layer on these options. We could do that. We could do this, and it's
That
really
sounds excellent.
the attic plane, which is the ceiling above your second floor that communicates with the attic, is the most bang for your buck. If you can get that in shape, you've done a lot of work on the house already.
So
That's
how about
excellent.
house
Thank
calls
you.
for Thanksgiving? Do you get calls on the holidays? And what are you doing?
Yes.
If you get a call on Thanksgiving, you're eating the turkey with your family, and then the phones are ringing off.
I only-
Yes.
I-
You're out the door.
Working.
I only
I
get
have no more heat.
I only get those calls when my on-call field guys
Okay.
don't respond. I'll
Right,
get
then
the
it
call
comes
from the
to you.
answering service.
So you should never get the call.
I'm
is
on
what
the
you're
I'm on the
saying.
escalation
Yeah.
trail, so
And I see a lot of.
But did
trucks
they
more than
ever
I did
happen?
before.
it's happened before.
I'm
That, yeah.
We're not perfect, but I call it service recovery. How you recover from a spill. So
Okay.
What are you doing with Thanksgiving with your family and your son? Tell us a little bit about what your plans
So it's
are.
going to be a small one. My dad, we just moved him into assisted living, and I'm going to grab him Thanksgiving morning, bring him to the house. It's going to be my wife, my son, myself, dad, and maybe my aunt Vicky from Philadelphia might show up.
All right.
as well.
Oh,
So
that'd
it's
be
going to be
nice. Got Vicky and Vicky in
all
there.
5 of my sisters are too busy to come for Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Oh,
Such a beautiful house in
boo.
Pennington.
So we're looking forward to it.
Okay,
Excellent.
one tip really
Yeah.
for during the Thanksgiving is anything that we should do to save energy.
Yeah, so Thanksgiving, and thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
That's probably what I consider, I don't want to scare anybody, one of the most dangerous times of the year because you've got an oven cooking a turkey. That's an exhaust fan going up.
Right.
You've
Right.
got the kitchen exhaust
Gets
fan
hot
on.
in there.
You might have a load of laundry in the dryer. That's a little mini exhaust fan. You might have a fireplace happening in
Well,
the
I have
fireplace.
all of those.
Yeah.
With an exhaust
Yes.
All at the same
You're making
time.
a
So
great point.
what's happening is that's creating a negative pressure on the house. And sometimes sometimes you can pull flue gas byproducts into the house.
Oh.
And unless you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, that can mean trouble. So
Whoa.
just make sure your
Ah.
carbon
That's the
monoxide-
biggest tip that you came
Make sure
full
you're-
circle back to
Carbon
the
monoxide
monoxide.
detector.
Do your laundry
That's
the night
great.
before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check my batteries and all my carbon monoxide now.
There you
Make
go.
sure
You
they're all
better check
ready.
those batteries.
Yeah.
That's
Good
right.
tips.
Check your batteries. All right. Would you like to share with us your handle and your website right
Where
here
people
with
can
our
find you.
Yeah,
Princeton Air.
PrincetonAir.com. We've got a website with a wealth of information. We keep it up to date pretty frequently. We're looking to serve the community in all that we do. And like I said many times on this show, is make sure you got a good working carbon monoxide detector and the batteries are fresh if it's not hardwired.
Nice.
Great. Thank you for
Excellent.
being here, Scott.
Yeah,
It's a
thank you
pleasure.
very
to see you. I'm
much.
sure we will have you back on the show with
Thanks
more
for having
tips.
me.
Thanks for being here.
That was fun.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott, for sponsoring this segment of the Gab. We appreciate very much.
My
Yeah.
pleasure.
And we will be right back with Maureen Petrowski and cocktails and mocktails. We're so excited. And then we'll talk a little bit about holiday shopping. So tune in. We're going to go to break.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching The Gab Show. Don't worry, our host will be right back. Isn't this exciting? Community TV is not what it used to be. We produce quality content and for your enjoyment. This holiday season, you have an opportunity to tell the Central New Jersey region and beyond about your business, service, holiday products, or even an event on The Gab Show. We make it really easy to help you tell your story. For more information, contact me, April Setti. Now we have to get back to the show. They're ready to start. Again, thank you for watching, and make sure to help us promote our show by sharing and telling your friends to watch. Make sure to follow us on our Facebook group page and Instagram.
Welcome back to the Gab. We're so glad you're here to join us. We are here with Maureen Petrowski. She's going to talk about cocktails and mocktails and everything holiday. So Maureen, we're going to give a little intro here. As a lifestyle expert, television personality, classically trained chef, is featured on the Today Show. She serves as a judge on Food Network's Iron Chef America, and she's a Kansas City Barbecue Society certified judge. Wow. Welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you here today. We're so glad to have some of these cocktails and mocktails here
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Thank
Tis
you.
the season,
Welcome.
right?
Tis the season. So glad to join us. So tell us a little bit about your background first, how you
Okay.
got into this space. I know you have such a vast background in food and wine and lifestyle entertainment. So
A little
tell
bit
us
of
how-
everything.
A little bit of everything, which is so cool. So
Which
tell
is
us about
so
yourself.
fun. It's
It
so
is.
fun. And so there wasn't really a job title for me when I got out of school. I went to Villanova University and
Congratulations.
thank you. And I
That's a
loved
great
working
college.
with my hands. And as my first job, I was 13. I know you shouldn't say that because it probably wasn't legal at the time, but I worked at a bakery and I loved it. I thought it was so much fun to see what I was doing come to life right there. So after Villanova, I went to the Culinary Institute of America
Oh,
and studied to become a chef. And that's where the classically trained chef part comes in. But as part of that curriculum, you study wine intensively. And it's one of the only places in the country where you're legally allowed to consume alcohol under the age of 21 because it's for educational purposes.
Ah, good.
And
was
so,
fun. That's
yeah,
fun
it
for
was,
you.
it was fun for me. It was a
Kids-
lot of fun for me.
Kids take note.
Yeah, so you could go and you tasted 8 to 10 glasses of wine a day, and I really got bit by the bug. And then I pursued becoming a sommelier, and so I am certified by the
I
Master
read
Court of
that.
Sommeliers in France. And that just kind of took
Wow.
on a life of its own. And my mom was the OG Martha Stewart. She was the one creating all of the vignettes at home, and every holiday we were decorated for. And I love seeing how she entertained and how she transformed our home. And so I kind of took all of that to the next level, and I'm sharing that with everyone, and that's what I'm doing with you guys
Oh,
today.
I'm loving it. Tell us about
Yeah.
your dad for a second too, because
Okay.
he's a vet and he's so
Yes. My dad is the
amazing.
youngest youngest, most decorated Vietnam War veteran, and he's got 7 Purple Hearts. He's got the Silver Service Star, and he's just an amazing person, showing how to be resilient and constantly go out there. And Joseph and I were talking a little before about the power of media and being able to share your message in different places. And as a veteran, he has always been in the public eye and working to get benefits and rights for veterans. And so it's been really awesome to
he does great
have
work.
him as a
Thank
role
you for
model.
sharing that. Absolutely.
Have you been in France?
I have been in France, yes.
Ah,
I thought she was
where?
going to say, have you been in Vietnam?
No, I was still into the wine
You're into the wine.
country,
I saw where you
you know.
lived out, yeah. I have been to France several times, studying wine and also spirits, so cognac and Armagnac.
Ah,
that.
very
Fantastic.
nice.
I was there this summer.
Which place did you like the most?
Oh, it's so difficult, but Champagne has a special place
Oh.
in my heart.
Okay. All right. All right.
Nice.
So mocktails.
All right,
Mocktails. Let's
mocktails.
talk about mocktails
Let's
because,
do it.
first of all, educate me on what a mocktail actually is.
Okay, so a mocktail is a cocktail without the alcohol. And
Okay.
I have to say that mocktail, the word itself, has kind of gone by the wayside because it kind of sounds silly, a mocktail. And really what I want to do is create drinks that are just as sophisticated and indulgent, but just not alcoholic. And so not cocktail replacements, but cocktail adjacent. So you're having something a little bit different,
Yeah.
but just like I said, just as sophisticated. So I already have in these shakers something. I'm going to put you guys to work, okay?
All
So I
right.
know there's 3 of you, but
Right.
there is stuff in here. I'm going to add a little bit of ice first.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about what makes this different than just having something that's like a club soda or
Right.
water with lemon or lime. So I've got
I
my,
hear
little-
that.
my
Fancy.
ice here. Yeah.
Definitely
So
feels fancier.
we have a little.
Well, Maureen, as we were saying, so many people feel left out if they don't want to do the alcohol thing.
Yeah.
And they're
Right.
just sitting there with
For
just like
sure.
a glass of water or a club soda and a lime. And you,
Right.
you don't look like you're part of the crowd.
And this is
so this is
completely
more
different.
inclusive.
Absolutely. It's inclusive and it's also indulgent and delicious.
Delicious.
You don't have to give up on flavor or texture or any of those delicious things you get from a cocktail or let's say a glass of wine,
Right.
that feeling of relaxation or ritual.
I like the ritual and relaxation.
all of
That
those
is true
things.
because if you do a drink like this with no alcohol and you put it in a really nice glass, you don't really need the alcohol. It's
don't.
more
You
like
don't need it at all.
it's more
You're
the
part of the crowd.
experience.
Mhm.
Yes.
that you have.
All right, who wants to shake?
Shake.
Okay,
Oh.
so There's two of
Okay,
you.
no,
Make sure
okay.
you hold
No,
tight.
the host adjacent
Shake.
doesn't shake.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm gonna make it
Nice and strong. Use your muscles. I want to hear it. Shake it up in there. There's something in there. I knew it. Nice and strong.
I told you this was gonna happen.
He's too strong for his own good. How did he
Wow.
out of there?
The host
The
adjacent.
host adjacent.
Ty,
You still look good. You still
Ty,
look
we
good.
need a replacement host. All right,
All
it
right, we got
smells
it.
delicious.
All right, so
All right.
we've got it under control. I think he saved some of it in there.
I did. You know what's
fun?
fun? And I used to be a bartender.
I know. That's right. I said nice and strong.
Do you right?
Yeah.
I'm going to treat you with a drink. So because you got that, you really got all in, which I appreciate that you went all in with your
I
muscles
went
when
all in.
said that.
I went all
So,
in.
Okay, in this drink this is amazing, by the way. This is, and that's what you just have to do. You just roll with
You did a
it.
great job. Don't worry.
So
Cool.
some of the things I like to show is that it's a
Yes.
beautiful glass, right? We have a
Thank
beautiful
you.
glass that we're pouring
Yes.
into. I'll make one first and you can see completely what I'm talking about. So in this shaker, well, maybe we'll use yours since you already broke the top of that off.
Yeah.
So then I pushed that down so hard. I just wanted to open this to show you that there is a foam in here. See this foam? So
wow.
this is what,
See?
this is called an apricot flip. And I know that you are a vegetarian also, Joseph.
Yes.
This is what used to be a flip had an egg in it or an egg white that gave it that really creamy frothy. But I use a chickpea broth. So it's just the juice
Ooh.
from a can of chickpeas or even white beans. It's a very neutral flavor, but you can use it in cocktails to create this really rich, delicious flavor. And then we're just going to top it off with a little piece of thyme. And
Look at
so
that.
look at this drink. It's a beautiful cocktail. Let Joseph enjoy since
Yeah.
he threw the rest of it on himself. But you
Really?
girls
All
will
right.
get you some too.
Be careful.
And there's
Thank you.
listen, it happens all the time, which is why I had that handy right a wipe right there. So then I'll let
Oh,
you guys
wow.
taste.
No,
So
no,
this
that's,
is-
I'm not kidding. That's amazing.
This is apricot. It's an
fancy.
apricot flip. So pick different flavors and different ingredients that create conversation for your guest. And again, creating something that's got this richness to it. Another ingredient in here, which is something that is a foundation of a lot of non-alcoholic cocktails, is a shrub. And I know that might sound weird, but a shrub is something that is a mixture of vinegar and sugar and a fruit or an herb. And so you get that tanginess, and vinegar you might think sounds weird or not
I
delicious.
can smell the.
But that vinegar
Vinegar.
is the acidity. And so acidity in wine creates balance, and acidity in
Yes.
cocktails creates balance. So
Very good for Thanksgiving with the heavy meal.
definitely. And so
Definitely.
you can have a little bit.
Yes, it helps you digest.
Yes.
Look
Yes.
I can't wait to taste it.
Sorry, I'm
So-
breaking this up. I should have
But
cut this up.
Maureen, where do it's like chef, the
Yes.
chefs, they get their inspiration, they take a recipe, they transform it. How do you get inspired to get all this?
These are the things that keep me up at night.
Okay.
I lie in bed at night and I think about all the flavors and all of the different layers and the different ways that I want to present them. I'm a very visual person, and we eat and drink with our eyes first and foremost. So if someone just puts something in front of you that looks like water on ice, it's not that exciting.
No.
But if someone just does this one little thing, a pretty glass, a little pretty fresh herb in there, it really entices all of the senses. You smell that vinegar, or that little bit of
nice
vinegar, that
smell.
acidity.
Yeah.
You smell that fresh herb on your hands when you're making it. The fruit from the apricot, it's all a balancing act.
Right.
It really is not just pouring one thing in a glass and you're done with it.
It's delicious.
It's Did you like it? So
I love
again,
it.
it is making you expand what you think you already like. And
Yeah, tell us about the Real World Social Club, because I know that you're doing this for a lot of different people
Yes.
now. So tell us about that.
Shake this
giving
so I
that
can sip with you.
experience to friends and family, and let me taste this as you think about that.
so, like you said,
Oh.
Melissa, one of the biggest things, my biggest focus in my career as it's
Delicious.
is it expand it through wine and cocktails and non-alcoholic drinks, is that I really want to share it with people. And I think that's something that we've all lost sight of, no matter what field you're in, is being connected and connectivity. And
Yeah.
we crave that as humans.
True.
While we were on this lockdown and we saw how people really struggled with mental health, especially younger people, by not being connected. And when you have a wine club or you have a zero proof club, or you have a cocktail club or an investment club, and you get together, it really enriches you as a person. And not only that, you're learning. So it's enriching your lifestyle. And that's something that I really love. So I have another book that will be coming out in the spring. It shifts gears back to alcohol, but it's the same concept, is that you get together, you enjoy each other, you appreciate the simple things in life, and you just take a moment. And that's really what it's all about
We
at the end of the
definitely have
day.
to have you over to my house since we're in the same friend group.
Yes.
Talk to us about your newest book.
Okay, so that's going to be coming out in the spring, but this book in particular here, that this recipe is in, is called, it's called Zero Proof. Yeah, you get in there. Go ahead, Gabby.
Zero Proof.
Do that for me.
I'm a hands-on kind
I
of
like
girl.
it.
The new one
That's the new book. And so Zero Proof Drinks, we shot all that photography in my home during lockdown because we were not able to get together with an entire crew. Good job. Look at you.
Yeah,
Cheers.
cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Is full, cheers. Full of
Something.
Oh, I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to attempt to reach across with liquid. No, but cheers.
I
everyone.
appreciate that.
Yes.
So,
That is very good, by the
and
way.
like a chef, you have to
And it
taste.
grows on you.
Yeah. So this has a lemongrass shrub in it. And the shrub was something I started to talk about, that mixture of vinegar and sugar. So there's tons of recipes in the book for making shrubs. And that is something you can keep in the refrigerator for 6 months. It's basically already has preservatives in it with the vinegar and the sugar. They're natural preservatives. And that's a base for what you're going to layer on your flavors to. It can be anything. It can be ginger. It could be strawberry. It could be peppercorn. It's just a flavor base that you're starting with. And so then you build upon that. And I think we talked a little bit about the fruit juices and the acidity. And you want to think about how your mouth feels. The book is full of low alcohol recipes also. So some people aren't looking to totally and completely give up alcohol.
Yes.
They're looking just to maybe take a break or maybe have a drink at lunchtime. So those are the low ABV drinks. That's another category.
Right.
You might have heard of session beers. That means it's a little lower in alcohol.
Right.
You can have 1 or 2 in the afternoon. You're not going to feel that hangover. The great thing about zero proof drinks is there is no hangover.
Right.
You didn't hear about that yet?
No, hangover, right.
We do know about that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yes, no, because every year I take a couple weeks off from drinking alcohol at all, and I do a cleanse, and then I don't drink for a couple weeks. So now I have a whole book full of zero proof
Recipes.
drinks and recipes that I can
And
look
they're
to.
so easy, Melissa. I promise that anyone can make this. This is for a kitchen or a mixology rookie. This is not for someone looking to become all, fancy pants and need a new uniform to make them. You can absolutely make these in your home kitchen with ingredients you probably already have in the
That's
pantry.
fantastic. So real quick, I have to know, I mean, this is creative. This is a creative process. So walk me through the typical, I just made up a new drink, because it says you have 100 recipes in
Yes.
here. That's very impressive.
Well, you think about it like a chef, right? Someone that's creating a menu. You want to have something for everyone out there. So this one is really bright and punchy, and it's got that real zing to it. Some of the other recipes are not. They're more smooth, they're richer. There's something you would really sip maybe by the fire. Then there's some that are punch bowl recipes that are big for a big crowd. So when I sit down and try to think about what information I want to share at this moment in time, I take into account anything that's trending, recipe ingredients that people are looking for or want to be playful with. I take that challenge on myself also to make myself learn them. And then I start to just kind of break it out. And so for me, this book is set up by how you would serve those drinks. So there's a chapter called Day Drinks. There's a chapter called Happy Hour. So those are a little more sophisticated than maybe the lighter, spritzier day drinks that you might have playing bocce ball or, playing badminton or your backyard. And then there are pitchers and punches. So that's for entertaining for a crowd. And then there's the low ABV drinks. So once I set up those categories, then I try to hit all the flavor profiles in there. Is it something savory? Is it something sweet? Is it something spritzy? And hit all of those different things too. So
And do you match them with the food, like wine is paired with food?
you definitely can.
I was just
And,
thinking that as
you
well. How about
definitely
with
can.
barbecue? What would you recommend? Because I know you're really into barbecue.
I do love barbecue. I do. Yes, I'm a Kansas City Barbecue Society judge. I go out
I was so impressed.
I go down south and I judge huge barbecue competitions, and I'm probably the smallest judge you'll ever see. And whenever I show up, they're like, "What is she doing here?" And then I sit down and I'm ready to eat for the entire day. And I'm a good eater. I love to eat, and so I think that with barbecue, it all depends on the sauce. Right? Sauce is always a little bit sweet, but can be really spicy. So you have to balance against that. It's always trial and error. There is no one right or wrong way.
Right.
And a lot of times, most people don't eat and drink at the same time. They'll either have their drink, then they'll eat, or they'll eat, then they'll have their drink. So when people get caught up in, is this going to match this so perfectly? It doesn't have to be so perfect. It
Cleanse
has to
your
be
palate
something you
between-
like. It has to be
Right.
something you enjoy that you're going to feel like happy about having. And that's really more
I have a
important.
smoker in my backyard, so I do
Oh,
a
you
lot.
do?
Yeah, big ones.
Yeah,
So it
I
can go
love
in
that.
the back of a truck, and it can do food trucks, and it's a lot of barbecue in my house. So,
So, and smoke
For
is
the family.
smokiness is a great another flavor profile that you can get into your zero proof drinks by using things like coffee and tea. The heavy roasting can add smokiness. You can use things like cayenne pepper and smoked paprika or a smoked chipotle in one of these mixtures. So you really can think outside of the box when you're making alcohol-free cocktails, and the amount of flavors that are out there right now to play with is endless. So it's so much fun.
so maybe that'll be your next book.
Yeah, maybe.
Talking about shopping, actually, meaning I know that you help people save money
Yes.
while doing all this. How do you go about that?
I think everyone is looking to save a buck, especially right now. I mean, it's bananas when the most basic grocery store items are skyrocketing
They
in
really
price.
are.
And so it's not just someone who's been on a budget, it's everybody. Everybody's looking to save a little bit. And there are definitely ways to do that by being creative. And I think that one of those ways is big batches. And especially when it comes to drinks, think about a big batch of drinks. Also, when you're cooking, I always say, cook once, eat twice or 3 times. So you cook one time, that's one shopping trip, that's one time in the kitchen, and then you can utilize those things to be creative afterwards. When there's just so many different ways right now
this is completely against the French way.
well, the French buy what they want when they want, and
I
that's
know.
the rule.
That's the thing.
Right.
You go the day off, pick up your herbs,
Right.
pick up your ingredients, and come
And
back and do it
I'm
then.
more with
yeah,
Maureen.
yeah.
I shop really big, and then I make like meatballs and big
Big
dishes,
things.
and then I save them and I put them in the freezer, and then when my daughter's hungry, I can put it in the crock pot. So again,
Right.
that's the way
And I
that
think it
do
depends how many people you're cooking for, how many people you're entertaining. Is it just for
Right.
you? Is it just for you and your partner? Is it for you and a big giant family? So you have to be creative in all ways. But even if you are shopping on the daily, there are ways that you can save money. What is on sale? What is right in front of you? Use like what's in season. We always say as a chef, use what's on sale. You know,
Yeah.
if that's what's on sale, let
I
that
have trouble
drive
with
you.
that. I never get the sale items. Every
You
time I
don't.
go
You
to the
stick to
register,
your-
I'm like, okay. They're like,
Yeah.
this is a special item. It's not on sale. Even when I go shopping for clothes. So
I
it's hard
usually
to get
have an
those bargains.
idea.
Any tips?
I usually
get
have an
those
idea,
bargains?
but you have to be able to roll with the punches. You cannot go in there with that strict list. If I go in and let's say I wanted thyme for this drink and they didn't have thyme, but they had basil, I would use basil.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
you have to be able to pivot a little
Yes.
bit, and that could be fun.
So you have a show on
YouTube, yeah. So,
okay,
yeah,
on
so I'm on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay.
I have a YouTube channel. All the same social things you can find at Maureen Petrosky is where I am for everything, and that's drinks and decor and dining. So whatever it is you're looking for, I've got recipes for every drink and everything under the sun you can probably think of, and even some really inexpensive, easy holiday decor.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
All right.
Something
I like
for
it.
everyone.
Thank you, Maureen.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So Thanksgiving coming. What
Yes.
will be the cocktail choice?
So with the holiday seasons right around the corner, I did bring some things I wanted to show you that
please do.
are store-bought ideas. So these
Okay.
are ready to drink. We're all pressed for time, and
Yes.
the kitchen can really be overwhelming no matter how many times you've hosted Thanksgiving, the time can get away from you. So these are some things I like to keep on hand to make sure I have interesting drinks for any of my guests who don't want to have an alcoholic beverage. And these are fun. So these are some of the newer ones on the market right now. The Desoy, which are the little tiny cans, and you can pass them over and take a look. They have really interesting, yeah, you be careful down there, Joseph. Give him only closed items. And this is the Avec. You'll see the ingredients are interesting, like yuzu and lime.
What is yuzu?
Yuzu is a citrus.
Nice.
Okay.
So it's a Asian citrus. It's really
so
delicious,
much.
actually.
Mm.
But one of the things I love about these Avec drinks is that they have savory ingredients in them.
Mhm.
So I'll taste it and I'll
That's
think,
nice.
what is that? What am I tasting? And then it'll be the pepper. They'll be
Where
like
can you
white
find
peppercorns.
these? Where can
So
you
most
find
of these drinks are available online.
Ooh,
They
lemongrass.
aren't because they aren't alcoholic, they would have to be carried in a grocery store. And
Right.
so it's a very strange thing as far as consumers go on how we purchase these things.
Okay,
But
great.
you can find them online.
Online.
Super easy. Yeah.
Can you get them from Amazon?
You can absolutely. Amazon
and
is
make it
exactly,
easy,
that's
everyone.
exactly
Just
right.
grab
too.
And by the way, this is a French word.
Yes. See, I
French
got that
words.
just for
So
you.
look up some of
See?
these non-alcoholic drinks for the
Right.
holidays.
So
They're
it's
just
with
amazing.
and something different. And so these are bitters. It's a great ingredient, a
Mhm.
non-alcoholic bitters. So bitters is the salt and pepper of a bartender. You know this,
Yes.
right? And so
Yes.
it's kind of how you finish off a drink. But they always had trace amounts of alcohol. This brand, all the bitter, is no alcohol at all, but all the flavor. So it's like the Peychaud's bitter, and that would be like comparable to the Angostura bitters that bartenders would use. Now, when it comes to wine, there has been some really disgusting non-alcoholic wine on the market. I mean, you can probably think back to the, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. There's always one in a grocery store, and it tasted either like grape juice
Yeah.
or
Oh,
it tasted
yes.
just it just wasn't balanced. Yes.
Right, very
This
acid.
is a non-alcoholic wine that is being made just like wines are made with wine grapes. This is a Chenin Blanc. This is out of California. They are doing beautiful wines that, again, are not going to give you that hangover, but you're not going to miss a thing. If you're a wine drinker, this is the only still wine I've been able to find. It's called Sauvy, and it's a young couple,
Okay.
and they are, like I said, based out of California. This is a 2020. They do a vintage, they do a small batch,
Right.
and it is a beautiful bottling. It comes complete with that cork. You talked about the ritual before,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The ritual of opening a bottle of wine.
Yes.
It's complete there, right? You're not just unscrewing a screw cap. So
yes.
it really makes you feel like you're not missing anything. And then last but not least, these are super fun. The shrub, which was this ingredient that you tasted in here, this is a
Right.
lemongrass shrub in here. These are canned shrubs. So this is that vinegary flavor. A lot of people don't love it. I tend to love it because it's really bright and exciting.
I
It's
tend to
also
like it
good for your
myself.
stomach and your digestive system. But this Siren Shrub Company, this is a female-based company out of Wisconsin, and they have really fun flavors. This is a basil sparkling shrub. That one's a coffee. So while you might be making espresso martinis for your guests, you can offer the coffee sparkling shrub for a guest that might not.
I
drink.
love the
Great.
little
You love
craft
the
for
tagline.
strong women and the people who love them, but this one has another one on it.
Another
Very cute.
tagline. So again, really great.
can't wait.
Keep
Great
these on
tips.
hand.
We will.
Yeah.
We're
Keep
gonna
them in
order
the
ours
fridge.
online. We can have
Definitely.
them for the summer. Maureen, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you for
here. You're a
having
friend
me.
of the show. We definitely want to have you back on the Gab again.
Anytime.
So
I hope
thrilled
you
to
guys
have
have a
you
great
here.
holiday
Great
season.
tips.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
And have a great
Are you
time
doing
on
the
NBC
turkey?
tomorrow.
I'm not doing the turkey. I'll be bringing the sides.
Oh, okay.
And the drinks.
And the drinks.
So
I am.
thank you
Yes.
for being here.
So
Well,
tune in
thank you.
tomorrow, NBC at 10 o'clock. You're doing the
9
9
o'clock
o'clock
hour.
hour.
9 o'clock.
Marie, clean up on aisle 7.
Hi, it's me again. Well, in case you didn't hear the first message, just wanted to let you know what opportunities the Gab Show has for you this holiday season. Isn't this exciting? Community TV is not what it used to be. We produce quality content and for your enjoyment. This holiday season, you have an opportunity to tell the Central New Jersey region and beyond about your business, service, holiday products, or even an event on The Gab Show. We make it really easy to help you tell your story. For more information, contact me, April Setti. Now we have to get back to the show. They're ready to start. Again, thank you for watching, and make sure to help us promote our show by sharing and telling your friends to watch. Make sure to follow us on our Facebook group page and Instagram.
welcome back to the Gab. I'm excited to be back here with Joseph Halsey. That was a very interesting last segment.
I showed my skills.
I thought it was
Shake.
fantastic.
I showed my
personally.
skills. I showed
I
my
wouldn't
old
mind having
bartending
one of those
skills.
drinks myself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we want to talk about holiday shopping and maybe get a few tips. I think Joseph and I need a few tips from you ladies
I
on
think
how
it's-
and when.
I want to ask you guys, how do you shop for the holidays, and what are you buying, Gabby and I? Do you need our sizes
Oh.
and our ring sizes?
Well,
what do you think
here's-
about this?
here's
Should
what
we
it-
pour
right
on
to
the
the-
Gabby?
Are you gonna wait? Are you gonna tell us the real sizes,
that's the problem.
or are you gonna tell
Oh,
us the
that's the hard
sizes
part.
that you are looking
So
to be
how do
after the new year?
And then get upset with us.
So
Right.
how do you
Size.
shop? How do you shop for women when they do cut out the sizes in their dresses? So if you have a woman or a
Mhm.
partner
Wow,
that
you
you're
do
shopping
that?
for, and you go into their closet to be able to get their sizes,
And it's
how
not
do you
there.
go and shop for them? They're not there. Some women do cut them out. I'm a dress for success. I see this on a daily
She knows.
basis.
She
They don't
knows.
want people to know their
So-
sizes. So how do you go
Do,
about
do
it?
you know
Ty?
your
I
wife,
have in the
wife's size?
past. I
Tell
have
us.
in the past taken a peek,
Okay.
but
Ooh.
I've also taken a pair so I can kind of figure it out in the
Ah.
store.
Nice.
Depending on what you're buying, you can't take a pair of everything.
Right,
But
exactly.
Certain times I've done that.
Joseph, what do you do?
I-
Shopping for
I-
the loved ones in your family.
I am not smart enough to buy women clothes. I am smart
That's
enough
tough.
not to buy women. Listen, gifts. So my brother and I had a holiday tradition. So we always worked together, my brother and I.
Mhm.
And our thing was to go to Quaker Bridge Mall on Christmas Eve and get everybody their gift.
Oh,
Last minute.
Now, listen, here's the great thing
I
about
agree.
the last minute.
Fine.
Because if I was to buy you a gift, I would think about it for the next 2 months. Oh my gosh, what am I going to get? When you get
Mhm.
there and it's down to the wire,
Make
your
a
choices
decision.
are
Yeah,
limited.
that's it.
You get
So
something.
you procrastinate the whole time, and then you
and
do
the
it the night
decision
before.
is made.
And as far as for your lady, you can't go wrong with jewelry.
Mhm.
Find out something they
Ah.
like. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm a big fan of Pandora,
Oh.
right?
yes.
You buy the bracelet and then you go to
Just add to
Pandora
it.
every year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. What's your
Ah.
size? Your ring size, Gabby? I'm a
You know that
seven.
she
You're
just went
seven.
straight
Yeah.
to that.
I have no
She
idea.
did. Went right to the ring.
But us, my family, my husband and I, so because you guys sometimes are a little challenged into the department of buying clothes
Yes.
for the lady. So we used to do this. We used to go to the mall and we will go, I like this, I like that, I like this, I like that.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
And
Yes.
same thing
Great.
for him. I like this, I like that, I like this. And then we will
Mm.
split
Do it right there.
Oh, really?
and we will go shop,
Mhm.
but then you will not know what you were
What was-
getting.
So
I
that's
like
absolutely
that.
right.
That's a good
That's a
idea.
good way to
You
do
just
it.
changed Christmas
I
for
think that's-
everyone,
that's
Gab.
great. So at
Good
least
job.
it's
That is
something that
actually
you
great.
Yeah, I like that.
So I do the opposite.
Almost
I
shop.
think people should know what I want, and I give little subtle hints throughout the year. And then if I don't get it, I'll be disappointed.
Now, how is that
Oh,
fair?
so I
So,
How is that
oh,
fair?
wait a minute. What is a subtle hint?
I might be somewhere today. I
Oh,
like
she
that
said
piece
ring.
of
With size
artwork.
7 ring. That's her subtle hint.
Seven
Size
ring.
7. I like that artwork. Or I
And
like
she's
this
saying this
particular
in
blanket.
July,
Yes,
so
I'm saying it.
it'll
You gotta
really be
take
on your
notes.
mind in
You gotta take
December.
notes.
Take notes.
So that's for the man that plans out and really wants to
Oh.
wow.
Is that right? So that's
100%. So yeah, that's the way that I do it. I don't, yeah. And I shop throughout the year for my daughter and for family members. So when it comes to that day, I don't do Black Friday,
No.
but I do a little bit online if there's 1 or 2 items that
So
I
are
really
you
want
are
to
you
get.
like a
That's the
big
key.
Black Friday online shopper?
So I'm not. I like to
Cyber
go
Monday,
to lunch.
right? Black
Cyber
Friday
and
Monday is
Cyber
better for
Monday.
me.
What
It's
about you?
Friday, and sometimes we
no.
work.
I attempted to go to Black Friday one year. I
Oh,
needed a
man,
new
me too.
computer.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
One
People are
year, I was
knocking
like,
you
oh,
down.
this is it. And I totally failed.
Yeah.
I got there. The one thing I wanted was completely out because I didn't know you should wait in line at 2
At
a.m.
In the
So
morning.
Yeah.
I went on a regular time
time.
frame and it
Right.
was like, what are you thinking? There's no more.
Yeah, no.
That's the toughest part
Yeah.
is really planning that. On Black Friday, you have to see the item. You have to know what time the store
Yeah,
opens.
know
You have
where
to
it
be
is.
there waiting in line.
Yes,
in
Yeah,
your- in your
I've never
journey.
done it.
I don't know if
I
it's
never
I don't
wanted
know
to
if
do
it's
it.
so
A lot
much
of
like
effort.
that. I've been out on Black Friday a little bit. You know, just
Really?
but I don't think it's as bad as it
With
used to be.
online,
I don't think
it
it's
shifted a little bit.
yeah. I
right?
think
I think online.
I think
shifted a
online
lot.
shifted a lot of
Yeah, a
things.
lot of
Yeah,
things.
you know,
Yes.
because if you really want something, it's so much easier to sit in your pajamas at home and
and
enter.
And click.
Click,
Click.
delivers right to your house.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Why
Yeah.
don't you do it in
Right.
time? Last year
So
there was a
you will
delay.
do that then?
No,
No, you will not do that either.
absolutely
Do you have a
not.
lot of people
I'm back to
work?
Christmas Eve. It's easier.
So, but do you shop locally?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
Do you have
always.
favorite? Like
I would
I love
always.
to go get coffee in a special and give that as gift.
Yeah, I would always prefer to go to a store that's owned by someone I know. You know, perfect example, Jack and Jules. That's where I get my. Not to give them a plug, but
Really, you go there?
yeah, of course. I'd rather give them the business than Mason.
I get a couple things in High Bar. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorites. 'cause
Yeah.
They have some fancy
Yeah.
items there.
Yeah,
that I
high
like.
bar.
Then I
It's
end up
cool.
buying for myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
see.
yeah.
I totally shop online.
Do you?
Okay.
Totally.
All right.
He's honest. That,
Yeah.
And I think so. This has completely revolution. I think the buying power of men was actually the online shopping because I can see it with my husband. Is like and he's a good guy because he likes to go shopping, in stores. But in COVID was so easy to buy things online, and I think a lot of men now are like all year through. Like you say, click, deliver, click.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
much easier.
So
Not
much
me
easier.
though. I
Not
like
you.
the experience.
Okay,
I
you
like
like-
going.
I love
I
the
like watching
experience.
people.
Right.
You
Online.
go and you just
And you watch people.
Yeah, I don't even have to buy anything. I can
Yeah,
actually walk through and
It's
just
fun
watch.
to watch people.
Yeah.
It has
People
something
watch.
to do to touch and feel. Meaning,
Mhm.
it's nice.
I think with clothing for women, it's really good to see it in
Yeah.
person, and even for men to really look at the style,
Yeah.
the shape, and make sure it's a good fit. But
Right.
most of the items you
Yeah.
can get online, or you can go quickly, like you said, on Christmas Eve and get it all done without procrastinating.
Yeah.
So tree lighting.
Where are they at?
So tree lighting. We have Princeton. We have Bordentown. We have Hamilton. Are you guys gonna go see any tree lighting? Or if you don't, have you gone to see tree lighting?
My family and I, we actually go to the city. every
New
year.
York City.
Yeah,
I
go to the
love
city
that
every
one.
Year. We
That's
kind of hang out for
beautiful.
the whole day.
Yes.
That's nice.
Sometimes we'll get like other friends, families, so my
Mhm.
daughter can hang with some of her friends and we'll
Yeah.
just go. Just make a day of it.
Right. Yeah, I love it. I did
I
that
do too.
few times in my life, and it's so beautiful with the angel going like this and the tree
Yeah.
in the
A
back.
lot of time I do the
Lots
one
of
in
lighting
Princeton at
activity.
Palmer Square.
But
I do,
everybody's
that's that one I've
waiting
done for many,
for the
many
Princeton
years.
this year.
And then I do one in Washington's Crossing
Yes.
Park, which is the hometown where I live. I do that with my daughter.
Do we know how
usually.
many light on the Princeton tree this year?
I don't know.
We don't know how-
I
no,
just
maybe
know
our
it's going to be
producer
exciting, and it always is. And they do
Mhm.
such a wonderful job. And then we just did one up in Lahaska. I did a tree lighting. I happened to be there that night. I didn't plan it, but they did the tree lighting, and I was there for it.
Oh, that's pretty
Which is
neat. You got
great,
to
yes.
do it when you didn't even
I was
know.
there for it. Yes, and there's a
Excellent.
lot of giving this time of year, and there is the Children's Home Society
Mhm.
of New Jersey that does a lot of great work in the community. They work with children's, they work with infants. It's an adoption agency, but they also work with the women. And the GAB
Yes.
wants to do a drive for the Children's Home Society. They help at-risk infants, toddlers, and youth, saving families' lives and building healthy families together with the community.
Nice.
So they have it online this year for the toy drive. But we also are going to do one that you can drop off toys at the Dress for Success Central New Jersey office on Princeton Pike in Lawrenceville. We're going to put the information, and we're going to be doing it all through the month. And we're the advocates for it.
That's
Okay.
right.
Most of the
Right.
GAP shows. So we want to raise a lot of awareness for the great work the Children's Home Society of New Jersey does for the families, for the infants, for the children, for the teens. And they just do it all, which
That's
is really,
right.
really great. And they
Excellent.
partner with many other organizations as well. So they deserve that drive, and we're so excited to be a part of it.
Nice.
So we invite you to join the Facebook, the Gab Show New Jersey Facebook group, because our producer April will be posting all kinds of information about the drive that we are doing there, and of course, we'll have multiple locations for you to drop your goods. We really truly invite you to do that drive with us, and thank you for watching.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you could meet the GAB host too.
That's it.
right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
everybody.
happy Thanksgiving.
Everybody enjoy their holiday.
Enjoy the holiday.
Yeah.
Happy
Yes.
holiday!
Eat,
Woo!
Drink, be merry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
you.